Some viewers may find the following video disturbing. Viewer discretion is advised.
It's harder than I like to think, but it's easy when you're by my side. No point in calling, you just have to see the fundamentals of our life tonight. Cause I've been looking at a photograph of you, and I've been thinking about all the ways you move. This isolation got me feeling like I'm moving my love. Yeah, when I wake up I feel empty, not beside you. My whole life been searching just to find you. This quarantine, it hasn't got the right to keep us apart. Killing time, we got nowhere to be. You sending messages I can't ignore. No contemplating, come here close to me. I'm bored at home, can't leave the house no more. But I've been looking at a photograph of you, and I've been thinking about all the ways you move. This isolation got me feeling like I'm losing my love. Yeah, when I wake up I feel empty, not beside you. My whole life been searching just to find you. This quarantine, it hasn't got the right to keep us apart. You, when I wake up I feel empty, not beside you. My whole life been searching just to find you. Quarantine, it hasn't got the right to keep us apart.
How y'all doing tonight? Hope everybody's doing real good.
It's a little too bright. Let's try that better. Is that much better? How y'all doing tonight? Okay, then this live is not going to be drama. Sorry, guys, but I want to use today to go over real life current events that are important to us as Americans. So if you don't want to stick around for that, I understand. But I did all my drama this morning already. Okay, so I'm going to, and if you missed any of it, last night's live is still up. Today's I took down because of the doxing, and deleted it, so I'm sure that SDA or Archivist got it if you want to watch it. And if you're not already subbed up to my backup channels, I've got a couple of them. The one that I'm speaking of is, I believe it's on Rose and Thistle. Hey Jackie, we're just, good to see you. Where's your backup channel? It's called Rose and Thistle. Let me put it in chat here. Hold on one second. No, I don't want an NFL ticket. Let's see here. Where is that live from last night? I don't know why Kells didn't want to just review my live. I guess she didn't want to give me a view. So, you know, that's why it went the way that it went. Mine is on my community. I always put it on my community wall there. If you ever, you know, are looking for what I did today, it's usually there. So I started off on that's Kel's and panel all in one word. I was on Kel's panel first thing this morning. I believe it was like 8 or 9 o'clock. And then I went live on my own channel, and Ernie came up, and it upset a lot of people. But it's okay if they have him on their panel, right? It's okay if they spar. It's okay if you know, they're praised and celebrated when they vent and they let whoever the hell they want on their panel. But when I do it, you see the fake outrage, right? Okay, so here is last night's live. Yeah, those pretty flowers are on it. Copy link. Give me just 2 seconds. I don't think I have any mods here right now. I had downsized my mods on this channel, mainly because I had more mods than I had people showing up, so. Okay, there it is. No one's here, Lori. It doesn't look like anyone's here. Yeah. Yeah, I know, right? It's okay for everybody else, but God forbid I let everyone have free speech, right? If you don't like what they're saying, the law says log off. That's the law. So I'm going to go on with my show that I wanted to show you today. Let's see. I wanted to share this with you guys because this is sort of what it felt like today. Let's see. This is what it felt like. Present this screen here. Do you want it? I only want you to be wrenched if you want to be. I don't want it hung over my head later. You know, Lori? So if you want it, sure. There you go. Thank you very much for being here. This is sort of what it felt like to me. Do y'all know this? I love this.
Just going. Okay, we're ready to
Say
go.
bye.
And you are.
Say bye.
You are.
Say bye bye. Say bye bye.
Yeah, you are. Okay. No, I just have to go. Yeah. I'll take your messages. Yeah, I'll ring you back. Okay, bye. When I come back for holidays. Yeah, okay. Bye.
Who was that you're talking to?
Nana.
Okay.
I thought that was so cute. I'm gonna try to find the one where hold on 1 second. There's another one where it's so cute. Am I muted? Okay, good. I'm not. It was cute little girl gossips. This is with the on the phone. Yeah, that's what it's called. Let's see if this is it.
you should touch.
She's so cute. Okay, good, Lori. I'm glad you're here. Yeah, it was fucking hypocrisy from hell, wasn't it? It's okay for them, right? But old Gypsy over here, she's just supposed to keep on taking it. I love the little girl. She's so darn cute. Okay, and then I wanted to share the stuff happening in our, United States. The Alec Baldwin case, and then also Biden. Let's see, which one do we want to do first? Let's go to who is live now. Alec Baldwin on trial. Which one do I want? Or do I want to do Biden impeachment final stage?
Aware, Mr. Bobolinsky, of a pattern of bribery, of bribe payments coming from the China Energy Fund Committee?
I appreciate that question. I wish everyone on this committee would read the 1,200 pages of testimony in an 8-day trial in the SDNY where Mr. Goldman used to work while the actual trial was going on, that accused numerous executives, ultimately Patrick Ho, of corruption, bribing, leaving shoeboxes of cash to a variety of political figures in Africa.
Exactly. So, Mr. Bobolinsky, from your perch within the Biden family operations and their interactions.
Oh, they're intertwined in bed with China big time, girl. It's awful.
Of millions of dollars that are known. We tracked them through bank records, through suspicious activity reports, through emails, through communications.
It is
that
unreal.
This committee has documented. There's no debate that millions and millions of dollars flowed into the Biden family's bank accounts. But the existence of other forms of payment is fascinating because diamonds are untraceable. We really don't know how many diamonds the Bidens received, do we?
We don't. And for somebody who's been to mainland China probably 10 plus times, Hong Kong probably 15 plus times,
Yeah,
I
let
had
me
hundreds
shift.
of people, Congressman, I had hundreds of people working for me in mainland China. At one point, I never got a diamond from any businessman or woman.
So, Mr. Bobolinsky, I shift quickly to a text message. Are you familiar with this? It's from a gentleman named James.
Generally, yes.
Yeah, it says, don't mention Joe being involved. It's only when you're face to face. I know you know that, but they are paranoid. And there's a response saying, okay, they should be paranoid about things. And then there's a response saying, for real. So what is meant by don't mention Joe being involved? It's only when you're face to face. I know you know that, but they are paranoid.
Well, I think it outlines how the Bidens operated, not specifically just with CFC.
They had on one of these guys in New Jersey, he had bars of gold with the Illuminati eye and triangle on it yesterday.
Getting sent millions of dollars instead of Hunter Biden directly. That's the reason why Devin Archer was receiving millions of dollars instead of going to Hunter directly. You guys have a mountain of evidence that stacks high and answers that question on how they obfuscated. They lived in a world of plausible deniability.
Thank you, Mr. Bobolinsky. Mr. Chairman, my time has expired. I yield.
Chair now recognizes Ms. Norton from D.C. for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Galanis, thank you for appearing voluntarily for this hearing from Alabama. I understand you are currently serving a 189-month sentence in federal prison, almost 16 years, after being convicted of not one, but two, but not one, not two, but three different schemes. The victims of your schemes, as the judge who presided over your criminal prosecution noted, included, and here I quote, one of the poorest Native American tribes in the country, as well as pension funds held for the benefit of transit workers, longshoremen, housing authority workers, and city employees, hardworking people, everyday people, among others. The court also noted that you personally benefited from these schemes, and again, I quote, using over $8 million, almost $9 million, for lavish personal expenditures, including home expenses, automobiles, travel, clothing, jewelry expenses, and meanwhile, investors were left with nothing. But this is not your only encounter with prosecutors. In another case, the Security and Exchange Commission charged you in 2005 with accounting fraud in connection with your involvement.
Oh, I definitely believe it too.
With Penthouse magazine.
After that,
And
after what I saw
2010,
yesterday in court,
you were convicted of
189 months sounds way less than
attempted tax
16 years.
evasion
It does, doesn't it?
and were sentenced to 5 years probation in order to pay
does, doesn't
$2 in restitution.
I wonder if
In
it's to
imposing
draw more
your,
voters.
Prison sentence, the judge noted that you are, and here I quote, an extremely talented man, extremely gifted in his interpersonal skills, uncommonly so. He is very persuasive as an individual,
Buckwald.
and those were the tools in his tool bag of the fraud he committed and the people he ensnared, his intelligence, his interpersonal skills, his charm, if you will. And this is something that is not unseen in people who are commonly referred to as con artists. Another judge who presided over your case referred to you as, quote, a skillful con artist. A skillful con artist, that is who my Republican colleagues are relying on to carry their water in this sham impeachment inquiry after their last star witness, the author of the infamous FBI Form 1023, was indicted for lying and outed as a likely Republican agent. It is time we put an end to this pathetic and desperate inquiry.
Hey, Hoosier, good to
yield my
see ya.
remaining time to Ranking Member Raskin.
Ms. Norton, thank you very much. So for more than a year now, we've heard
I didn't
innuendo,
either. I didn't
rumors,
either.
propaganda, big lies, but no facts, no evidence that could reasonably support the finding of impeachable high crimes and misdemeanors against President Biden. In our first real impeachment hearing, the majority invited several expert witnesses who came together, and their witnesses agreed with that there was nothing that remotely approached the level of proof needed to support a finding of high crimes and misdemeanors that one would impeach a president for. And now we come back again today, and the majority has two witnesses. One, the designated con man as determined by two different federal courts, not without talent, but someone who deploys his talent towards the purposes of exploiting Native American Indian tribes, pensioners, and other innocent investors. And then Mr. Bobulinski, who offers a lot of rhetoric and a lot of hot air, but absolutely no facts that could indict the President of the United States for high crimes and misdemeanors, impeachable offenses against the Republic, the kinds of offenses which James Madison said are great attacks on the Republic itself, great affronts to our Republican form of government. And nobody on their side can even tell us what is the impeachable high crime and misdemeanor, which suggests that they are moving in the direction of criminal referrals, and they should start by looking at their own witnesses. I yield back to you, Mr. Chairman.
And I'd like to remind the ranking member and Ms. Norton, the witness, Mr. Galanis, was partners with Hunter Biden. That's why he's here. We have their partners. You could have invited partners, but you invited this guy.
Yeah, Donald Trump's partner, Mr. Parnas, who was working with Donald Trump and Rudy Giuliani.
Okay, yeah.
My hair for a
Chair recognizes Mr. Groffman.
Yeah, we got a variety of things I'd like to go through. But first, Mr. Lynch complained about Mr. Galanis testifying
know,
from prison.
right?
So I'd like to ask unanimous consent to enter into
Is
the
that
record
what they mean by?
the
I don't
Department
mean
of
to sound like a
Justice's own press
hillbilly, but
release
what is a blood
announcing
diamond?
the
I guess I
sentencing
could
of
Google it.
Democrats
I guess I'll
witness
just Google
led
it.
partners to 20 months in prison
What does
for,
that mean?
among other
Does that
things,
mean it
making
like
false statements.
I guess
Without
I'll just
objection.
I'll just
on Donald
Google
Trump's
it.
partner. You're
Thank you. Now, Mr. Chairman, you know, we had originally hoped that we'd see a few more witnesses to here today. They're not here, but I would like to run a brief tape because I showed up today hoping I'd be asking these witnesses a little bit more about this tape. I know that, you know, there's some mystery, or some people feel it's still ambiguous as to how this prosecutor was fired in Ukraine, and I wonder if this tape could do a little bit more to shed light on why that prosecutor was fired and why we want Hunter Biden and Mr. Archer here today.
And so I got Ukraine. And I remember going over convincing our team, or others, to convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over for, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I said, I'm not going to, we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, what, 6 hours? I looked, I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours.
Sorry, no, I got a
The
message.
prosecutor's not
I'll have
fired.
to Google
You're not
it
getting
now.
money. Oh, son of a bitch. Got fired. And they put in place someone who.
I just wanted to put that up there because I do eventually want further efforts made to get Hunter Biden or Mr. Archer here, because we have Joe Biden himself bragging
Blood diamonds are
that he got
diamonds
rid of
mined in a war zone
prosecutor who would
and
have
sold
provided
to
his son's
finance an
business
insurgency and invading
a little bit,
armies' war efforts, terrorism,
more
warlords activity.
observation.
The
I'll
term
put it
is
that way.
used to
Now,
highlight.
Mr. Bobolinsky, in previous interviews,
The term is used to highlight the negative
in previous
consequences
interviews with this committee,
of the
he
diamond
said that Joe
trade
Biden
in
not only
certain
knew about the
areas,
family's business dealings,
or to
but
label
enabled
an
them and
individual
participated in them.
diamond as
He went
having
so far
come
as to
from
say it's clear to me that
such
Joe
an
Biden was the
area.
brand sold by the Biden family. Could you elaborate a little bit why you felt that way again?
Correct. That's one of the challenging things I've had to deal with over the last 4 years, with a focus of just simply telling the truth. The obfuscation around these facts are just beyond beyond insane. So I'll use a meeting at the Four Seasons Hotel in Washington, D.C. that I was not at, but apparently 8 to 10 Chinese executives of CEFC were at, with Chairman Yi and Director Zhang. Director Zhang I interacted with extensively. And James Gilliar was in that room, Rob Walker, Hunter Biden was in that room. And my understanding, based on Rob Walker's testimony, is that Joe Biden walked into that room, sat down, shook hands with people, and spent 5 or 10 minutes talking about his family, I guess. I was not in the room. People have tried to obfuscate that meeting like Joe Biden was walking in there to ask about the weather. And Rob Walker said that the Chinese didn't even know that Joe Biden was the former vice president of the United States, which is beyond absurd. The power that those 10 Chinese individuals had to go back to mainland China and say that they were in a room with Joe Biden is the value of what they were giving.
Okay. You stated that the Biden family concocted a scheme to give Joe plausible deniability. Could you elaborate on that a little bit?
Well, I would just point to all the different text messages and communications. They call him the big guy. I wasn't involved with Mr. Galanis or Mr. Archer, but they're giving you numerous data points. There was obfuscation. They didn't use his name. They used the big guy. You weren't supposed to talk about it. It was just, you know.
And you personally met with the vice president?
I did twice.
Okay, and it was obvious. Did he say anything that indicates that you wanted him to help his son, that sort of thing?
Well, he thanked me for helping his son and his brother and asked me to keep an eye on them as I walked him out to his car after he gave his speech on the second meeting of the Milken Conference.
Okay, just one other follow-up, and this is kind of maybe a vague question, but I'd like to know it. One of the things that disturbs me about that is the interaction with the Chinese, or that's what we're dealing with today, but obviously other countries as well, that apparently in their own mind, the way you deal with the United States is the way you deal with say, a corrupt city council or something like that. In other words, you know, you give them money and you get what you want. Do you want to comment on that, or did you hear any stories about that, or did you hear stories that they were surprised how easy it was to buy the U.S. government?
Well, I think
It was expired, but answer the question. But please feel free to answer the question.
Yeah, I think CFC, and there's tremendous evidence, believed that they were bribing the Biden family, and they were doing it via Hunter Biden.
It's kind of shameful. Thank you.
Very good. Chair now recognizes Mr. Khanna for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Parnas, can you tell me about your meetings with Dmitry Firtash and why you believe the Trump campaign used his services?
Yes, well, I was sent to meet with Dmitry Firtash because Dmitry Firtash had resources. He's an oligarch that was in Vienna waiting to be extradited to the United States. But he was very close with Vladimir Putin, Ukraine, and lots of characters in that part of the world. And my objective at the time was to have him help us lean on Mykola Zlochevsky and get dirt on the Bidens.
And what type of dirt were you trying to get?
We were searching for Hunter's hard drive that we were told was out there. We were searching for bank records to validate certain bank records that was given to me, Hunter's personal bank records that was given to me by John Solomon that he said he got from the FBI to validate certain payments that were going for car purchases. But the objective was to try to find a link from any of the payments that would go into Joe Biden's account.
And who told you to get this dirt?
Well, who told me? Rudy Giuliani.
Anyone else that you remember?
John Solomon. I mean, everybody that was part of the team. I mean,
Did Bill Barr know that you were involved in getting this dirt?
Absolutely. Bill Barr was notified of our investigation from the day he took office.
Did you ever have a conversation with Bill Barr of being lenient towards Dmitry in his role, in Bill Barr's role as Attorney General?
I personally did not, but I was witness to Victoria Tunzing and Joe DeGeneva having a conversation with Bill Barr about Dmitry Firtash.
What did they say to Bill Barr?
Basically, they were telling him that the charges were false and that he needs to drop the charges and basically end the case.
And why did they tell him to drop the charges
Bloops.
on this Russian oligarch?
Because Dmitry Firtash was going to help us getting dirt on the Bidens or whatever
I
else
know,
the
me
Trump
too.
campaign needed.
So my understanding is you have the Trump
nice and
campaign
quiet.
telling you to talk to a Russian oligarch to get dirt on the President of the United States for political reasons. And
Yeah,
then
I'm
someone
used
from the
to
Trump
it,
campaign is
Lips. I
talking
really
to the
am. I've
Attorney
become
General
so
drop
numb
the
to it, it
charges
really doesn't
because
faze
this
me
foreign
anymore.
national is helping get dirt on a political
I'll be honest
candidate.
with you.
Absolutely.
Did Bill Barr indicate any?
I don't really view people the way that I used to here. You know, I see everyone is used for pawns, you know. And like when you said once before that it was okay for it to all happen to you, but not them. The hypocrisy, it screams clique. You know, I joke and call it corporate, whatever the hell you want to call it. But it's a tight-knit community, right? And outsiders beware. If you don't comply, they make your life hell. Right? We've seen that. I know you've been through it. You and I talked about it. That's why I've got a soft spot for you. One, because you look exactly like my old best friend. You're a lot of fun. But also because I see you going through it. And I know you try so hard. I see you try so hard to do the right thing and make the right choices and try to improve your situation. What more can we ask of a human? What more can you ask? So that's why I've always had a soft spot for you. Well, they think that they're going to deflect, and they think that they're going to ruin my reputation. But what good a reputation can someone possibly have in the basement of a social media platform in 2024? You know, so the fake outrage, the gaslighting, the projecting, the blaming, the victimizing, the public shaming is so old. I'm numb to it, Casey. I'm so numb to it. That's why I've started other channels that have different, you know, what do you call it? Topics, I guess is what I'm trying to say. One for cats, one for horror, one for my picking, one for our cooking, and a political channel that we started years ago that nobody knows about. So it's like, I guess they don't like the fact that I'm not a pushover, that I am articulate, and I'm a challenge. They don't like that. So I had to do it alone. I hear ya. My closest friends left me. If you don't run with the groups, then you're crazy. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's how you know you're not part of corporate. They never mod you. And when they do, you're only modded for a short period of time, right, Casey? We talked about that too. It's very obvious who are the main veins to the leg. Y'all get me? Know that there's a head to the snake, right? And what was it someone said in chat today at Kel's Follow the Money? And y'all know, y'all can look at Social Blade and see it ain't here. But they want to gaslight me and make me out to be the greedy one when I'm literally giving crumbs. And, you know, they're, you know, going on trips and this, that, and the other. Give me a break. It doesn't work. You'll never shame me because I have someone to answer to. His name's my husband. So no matter how much you try to shame me for trying to make money on a social platform with your little gang, I still have a husband to answer to. So you got to take it up with him. I think that Lips has always been mistreated. I've just sat back and watched. I don't care what people agree with me or not. I've always seen her defend herself. So, and you know, when I was told, we're all going to block her over here, so, and they're looking at me like, well, you've got to block or you're not going to get to be a mod anymore. You know what I should have done, Lips? I should have said, well, then here's your wrench. I did the wrong thing. And I'm glad that you forgave me and you're my friend again, Lips. Which one do I need to remove? This one. Right, and no one on here paid a dime for my trip or any. Exactly. We're independents. They're paid out of my husband's pocket. Exactly. Exactly. We both have husbands to answer to, right? And the women that expect me to keep my voice quiet screams to me they're part of it, right? That tells me they're paid trolls too, right? If you want me to keep my mouth quiet, then you're probably a paid troll too. You know? I have a few coming back saying that. A closest friend I lost come back to, but we are nowhere near friends like we were. I understand. Well, that's how I feel about Sarah. I'll say, hey girl, you know, like Constance said do, but don't ever trust her again. and I'm taking that advice, you know. And Chaotic and Leslie can fuck all the way off. I never really had much respect for them anyway, because I remember that night I was actually on the phone at one time with Alicia, who was with Chaotic and Leslie that night that they were supposed to all meet up at some fundraiser. And I remember Chaotic going live for a minute and saying, Benny Keys, call me. Benny Keys, call me. And it's like, that was kind of weird. And they had been partying and having a good time. And it's like, it just felt odd. It felt not right. So from that point forward, I always kept my arm out, you know. Hey, I want to come to your house. Oh, sure, right. Yeah, sure, right. And it never came to fruition. Hey, I want to go to you know, Comic-Con or whatever. Yeah, well, that never came to fruition, because you sit back and you watch how they did their closest friends, and you're like, okay, I'm not even a closest friend, so we know what they're going to do to me, right? If you would just sit back and observe and sit in the bushes, don't chat, sit in the bushes, you can see it. You know, you can see the hypocrisy, you see the double standard, you see the fake outrage, you see the gaslighting, you see it, you know, and then wanting you to be a bobblehead. Yes, yes, everything you say, yes, yes. Well, that'll never be me. The first time they said, well, we don't want you doing that, out of here, okay? I got me, myself, and I, and that's one too many, you know? I answer to my husband, that's it, you know? He supports me and pays all my bills, other than what I make. And my family pitches in and helps me from time to time because they love me and they worry about me and they want to know that I'm safe and okay and warm and happy. Because they love me, you know. So when you see people that are supposed to be your mod, but they're buying memberships over somewhere else that you know is probably part of corporate, the clique, the in crowd, the cool kids, but they don't buy where they mod, come on. All right? Just sit back and watch. People tell on themselves. And if you stand back out of the way and not interfere with their karma, they get it. Because every single person that has ever hurt me, God got them way worse than I ever could have imagined. So, I'm just good to people until they're not good to me. You know, I will meet you exactly where you meet me. I will never, ever, ever treat you better than I treat myself, ever. And don't ever ask me to. The answer will be no. I love me some me, and you should love you some you. And don't let people walk all over you. And as far as Ernie goes, I stood up for him today, not because of the stolen valor bullshit and fake outrage, but because I was giving him a voice, just like they give him over at Sarah's, just like they give him over at Kel's, just like they give him over at Mama T's, just like they give him over at Nicolina's, just like they give him over at Jimbo's. Everybody has let him come up on their panel. So fuck off with that fake outrage. You know, I believe in free speech. The cops say, or the law says, if you don't like it, turn the channel. And they've said over and over and over, when he doxes people, he gets it wrong. So maybe that's his troll, you dumbasses. Maybe he's the absent-minded doxer. Have you ever thought about that? That that's the act? That he's not really good at it? That it is a troll? Just like, oh, don't let them have your address, Gypsy. Well, everybody's had my address. And 2.5 years later, I've gotten hairspray. I've gotten brownies. What else have I gotten? But nope, nobody's come to beat me up or, I mean, that's a troll in itself. Is doxing. I grew up with a phone book. And I don't hide, so come on by. You know? Fake outrage. Yeah, so. I'll read y'all's comments now. Yeah, I covered it, Crazy Chicken Lady. The minute I could, I covered it. Sure did. And then she wanted me to remove the cover, if you go back and listen. When I covered it, she wanted me to take it down. Then to find out it wasn't even her and her family. It's fake outrage. It's fake. It's okay if they do it to me. It's okay if they do it to Lips. It's okay if they do it to other people. Chipsino's a Facebook Messenger. Yeah. Yeah. She did what she was told, right? Now, who do you think runs that channel over there? Exactly. They do as they're told. Sarah had no problem messaging me back and forth up until I said, this is where the buck stops. And then it's like, you can't even message me back. Come on. Right. I've seen a few of them in chat talking I could care less. I really could care less. I want them to talk about me. It helps my algorithm. I want all of them talking about me. It helps my algorithm. I don't give a fuck anymore. I really don't. I really don't. I'm glad I have somewhere to come vent now that my life is shit right now.
I don't give a fuck.
Really don't. Could care less. And for all those people who think I'm all about money, gosh, I hope I make $1.99 this month. I'm so damn greedy.
Buy a membership to Gypsy.
So fake.
Buy a membership to Gypsy.
Do y'all want me to go back to Biden, or do you want me to pick up the Alec Baldwin case? Because I think those are sort of more important. Maybe we should not talk about anyone. I'm sorry. Seems like a bad day for everyone. Well, you know, I'm going to defend myself, Crazy Chicken Lady. I don't give a fuck. Gonna defend myself. It's okay for everybody else. So hungry. Hey, Dr. Vance, good to see ya. Now that we have a doctor in the house, don't you all feel better? Maybe we need an afternoon nap. Some are saying they don't think we're going to have an election. What? What does that mean? What do you mean we're not going to have one? You want the Alec Baldwin? Okay, that's what Lori wanted too. Okay, let me go back over here to my present screen here. Oh, Alec Baldwin. Let's see. God, that's even a tab. Gee, everyone's watching that. Let's go with Court TV. I like Court TV. Let me present. God, I'm so hungry. I gotta get some lunch. Still haven't eaten lunch yet.
On October 21st, 2021, Alec Baldwin was filming a Western movie entitled Rust in Bonanza Creek, New Mexico. Baldwin was rehearsing a scene with director Joel Sousa and cinematographer Helena Hutchins. Baldwin was seated in a church practicing a cross draw with a .45 caliber revolver. As Baldwin practiced pulling the weapon from the left side of his body with his right arm, the gun discharged. The bullet struck Helena Hutchins and Joel Sousa. Joel survived, but Helena did not. Body cameras were rolling as emergency responders arrived, capturing the reaction of everyone on set, including Alec Baldwin. What do these videos reveal? What was Baldwin saying? And what does it prove? We'll take a closer look as we investigate the Alec Baldwin movie set shooting.
I'm Vinnie Politan. Thanks for joining us. How did this happen? How did this happen? That is the question everyone asks when I talk about this case. How does a live round end up on a movie set? How does a live round end up in a weapon? How does a live round end up getting discharged? We're shooting a movie. And now Alec Baldwin being charged with what happened here. The death of Helena Hutchins, a cinematographer doing her job, a mom. You look at where this gun ended up. It ended up in Alec Baldwin's hands, but before he had it in his hand, Hannah Gutierrez, the armorer, is the one who loaded it. David Halls, the assistant director, the one in charge of safety on the set. He was the one who sort of checked it, but didn't really check it. He admitted only checked 3 rounds. And it ends up in Alec Baldwin's hands. And then the gun discharges. Like, we can argue about how that happened, but every image I've seen, and I'm gonna show you one in just a second, his finger is on the trigger. Like, it's pretty basic stuff. That's how a gun gets fired. So, the actual scene where this tragedy occurred was just a rehearsal. And it wasn't the first rehearsal of the scene. Before Helena Hutchins is shot and killed, there is a rehearsal before lunch. And this rehearsal is actually being recorded. And this rehearsal is played.
I hope it's okay that I share this. Do y'all want me to go back to the trial, or do y'all want to see this? I want to try to find the trial, y'all. I hope y'all don't mind me switching it back. I want to be in real time, though. I don't really want to watch a video. I want to watch it in real time. So E! News is playing it live. Who else is playing it live?
I provided Starline Brass.
And you would agree with me that anybody who did provide that round or brought it onto the set would have every reason to want to deny that, correct?
No. Hannah Gutierrez admitted in questioning at the sheriff's office that she brought the box that contained the live rounds.
No, she didn't. She actually said she hadn't seen that box, and that's just something that's been fed to you by the prosecutors, isn't that true?
No, I've actually seen the interview.
Okay, well, we can pull up that interview if we need to. So, the week after the accident, you know that we have some of your text messages, right?
Yes.
Okay, and you weren't sleeping, right?
Correct.
You were drinking a lot?
I don't even remember.
You were talking to your cop buddies to try to get advice about the case?
I don't recall that.
You texted Sarah Zachary in the days that followed, do not say anything or write anything to anyone, right?
Yes, I remember that text.
Do nothing, say nothing, write nothing, correct?
Correct.
She told you she wanted to get a lawyer, right?
Yes.
You told her not to get a lawyer, right?
Yes.
In fact, at one point you just said, shh, with an emoji, right?
I don't recall that.
Okay. You did provide Detective Hancock. Do we have that photo? That was entered into evidence on the screen? Okay. Did you email that? Yeah. Okay. Well, we'll get it in a minute. But the one that you just saw on the screen of you and Mr. Teskey, do you remember that photograph that you just looked at?
With the reloads?
Yeah.
Yes.
You actually took a screenshot of that and sent it to Detective Hancock, correct?
Okay.
It sounds like something I would do. I don't recall doing it, but it sounds accurate.
Okay. Does it sound like... I don't have the photo, so.
Thank you.
But the photo that you took and sent to, of the screenshot that you sent to Detective Hancock, it included that line. Yes, this is evidence in the accidental death, right?
That was my speculation prior to learning that the live rounds from Rust had nickel primers.
Well, sir, that's the problem with your testimony, isn't it?
Which is what?
In the very same text chain, you ask about nickel primers. So how is it possible that you didn't know about it when you said that this is evidence in the accidental death?
Because the meeting with Hancock and the text exchange with the pitcher occurred on November 1st. 2 days later, on November 3rd, I had asked by text whether or not any of the rounds had nickel primers. And he replied, Troy Teskey replied, no. And at that point, that was the reason why.
So this is, I think it's Court Exhibit 2, perhaps, of this hearing.
This one? No. Mine are Roman numeral 1 and 2.
It's going to be States 1.
States 1.
I just haven't had a chance to mark it.
That's fine. We'll call it States 1 for now. You see it on your screen?
I do.
Okay. And you say, yep, it's evidence in the accidental death, correct?
That's on November 1st, yes.
Correct. That's what you wrote, sir, right?
On November 1st, yes.
Okay. And you didn't say anything about speculating, did you?
No.
Okay, but when you screenshot this to Detective Hancock, which I'm going to talk about in a minute, let me ask you, after he says, okay, you say, this sucks, but she's seriously trying to blame everyone else for her mistake, correct?
Yes, that's what it says.
Okay, so it's, this sucks, but she's trying to blame everybody else, right?
Yes.
This sucks, that it comes from the same batch, but it's really her fault because she loaded into the weapon, right?
Well, first off, I pronounced that ugh. And then what was the second part of your question?
But it's her fault because she loaded into the weapon, correct?
Certainly.
And you said that over and over again as you continue to meet with law enforcement, that whatever happened here, it's her fault, she loaded it, correct?
Well, certainly she's responsible for loading a live round into a gun on a movie set.
How come when you provided the screenshot, this is defense 1 for the hearing, how come when you provided defense A, sorry, Your Honor. How come when you provided the screenshot of the text message to Detective Hancock, you left out the, this sucks? But seriously, she's trying to blame everyone else for her mistake.
If you put that back up, I think you'll see that the digital keyboard is in the way of whatever's underneath it.
I see. And is there something with your phone where you can't take multiple screenshots and just go further down like you did 10 other times in this case?
That's a picture of a picture.
I understand that, but I'm asking you.
That's...
Why didn't you provide the message, this sucks?
I did, and what I'm saying to you is that when you take a picture of a phone with a keyboard up, it's going to block the lower half of the message.
Okay, so on November 1st, you agreed to an interview with Detective Hancock, correct?
Sounds about right. Yeah.
No other officers?
Yeah, November 1st, yeah.
No other officers were present, correct?
It was just Hancock in the interview room, correct?
And you talked about your phone call that you made with Troy Teskey, right?
I did it in front of her.
No, I know. You were very, very cooperative, correct?
I thought so.
I don't think you mentioned on direct examination, but tell me if I'm wrong. You also made a phone call to Joe Swanson in front of Detective Hancock.
I don't recall it being in front of Hancock. It was as I was driving away, and it dawned on me that I kept on seeing brass and nickel, and it didn't wash with me. It didn't make sense.
Joe Swanson and the original batch of the ammunition was very much on your mind. Fair?
Of the reloads, yeah, I was fairly confident that somehow some of that reloaded ammunition came in through a piece of leather, or, Hannah had been shooting, gotten hold of some of it, been shooting it, commingled it with dummy rounds. I was concerned that it was going to be a Joe Swanson reload.
I don't know.
It turns out you
I'm
actually
not
made the call
sure.
to Joe Swanson within earshot of the police recording equipment. And
Let me move
you
my
asked
banner
Mr.
and
Swanson
see if
about
it
the green ammo
shows.
can.
No,
I don't
it
recall
doesn't-
that.
Doesn't
Okay.
say who he is,
And
does it?
you then said, shit. Well, she didn't do her fucking job.
Now I recall, yes.
I bet you do, right? And the she who didn't do her fucking job was the armorer, right?
Correct.
And the shit is the commingled rounds, isn't it?
Well, I think the shit was a concern that Swanson was going to get dragged into this, and it was going to have been some of his reloads that caused the death and injury.
Oh, the exclaiming of the shit was your concern for Joe?
I think it's a collective. I mean, there's 4 of them there.
I like
There's
that.
a lot of shit.
Saying my wild card. I like that.
So some of the shits were for everybody that had ever touched the
The
commingled round.
whole thing is awful.
Okay. Can we agree that you didn't intentionally provide live ammunition to the set of Rust?
We can agree that it didn't at all.
Okay. Well, we can't actually agree to that.
Okay.
And by the way, that's November 1st. November 30th, okay, a month later, the police come knocking with a search warrant, right?
Yes.
Just like you were there at the truck search, you were there at the PDQ warrant search, right?
I was on a connector flight from Phoenix.
I'm glad you mentioned that. Both times, both at the truck and at your, the search at your prop house, both times you happened to be grabbing onto a flight and getting there just that day, right?
No, actually, I was in Las Cruces on Bruce Willis's final movie, finished that, and was heading to the Rust set directly from Las Cruces, driving in the Sprinter van.
That was after you got the code to the safe, right?
I recall that I got the code while driving.
So if law enforcement were to have represented in this courtroom that they needed you to open up the safe and that's why you were at the truck search, that's not actually true because Sarah Zachary had the code, they had the code. That whole story about needing you there for the code is pure fiction, right?
I don't know that it's fiction. I think it was more along the lines of Hancock wanted to interview me, and also I wanted to be there to assist in any way that I could have with the investigation. So I think they're being cordial in waiting for me to show up.
Okay. Back to PDQ. The warrant was signed by a judge authorizing them to search your property, right?
I saw that, yes.
And when you saw in the warrant that it talked about the reloads in the green ammo can, you actually started to text Detective Hancock, upset with her for including that in the warrant, didn't you?
I did.
You had video surveillance at PDQ, correct?
There was, I don't recall exactly at what point the camera overrode itself.
Well, that wasn't my question. My question was just you had surveillance footage at PDQ. In fact, in the...
Yeah, but excuse me, if the footage has been overwritten, then I don't have it.
You have surveillance equipment there that records whether it's overwritten or not. You don't know. Is that your testimony?
I have surveillance equipment, yes.
Okay. And actually, during the search of PDQ, you were looking at your phone, because you have a remote access, trying to see the surveillance footage of what it was catching. Remember that?
I don't recall that, no.
Do you deny it?
If I was actually inside the premises?
You're inside the premises on your phone looking at the surveillance equipment that you have remote locked into your cell phone.
I don't recall. It's possible.
Okay. And the testimony you have given this court is at that point in time, right? There's a green ammo can there, correct?
Yes.
The same green ammo can you're calling Swanson and Teskey about in front of Hancock, correct?
Sounds, yeah, roughly accurate, yes.
Right. And written on it was the word empty, right?
Was it? Oh, yeah, black ink next to the silver duct tape on top, yes.
And lo and behold, law enforcement doesn't find anything in the empty can, right?
There was tags and office supplies and other things in it.
But we know at one point there was ammunition in it, right?
The last time was in Texas.
Nothing further.
Unless the court has any questions for the witness, I don't
This
have
witness
anything.
is excused. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Next witness. Thank you.
Raise your right hand.
You swear affirm under penalty of law that the
Who's this
testimony you'll give in
woman
this
coming
case will be
up?
the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Have a seat. Talk
I
into the
agree with
microphone.
that. That's why I feel like he was set up. I feel like he pissed somebody off on that set because he's, known for being an asshole. I think he was set up. My opinion.
On November 1st of 2021, did you have a meeting with Seth Kinney?
Yes.
And what was the purpose of that meeting?
I don't know the entirety of the purpose of it, but I think it was something to do with ammunition for Rust.
And were you provided, or did Mr. Kinney share with you a photograph of ammunition?
Yes.
And do you recall the photograph?
No, I don't.
Would you recognize it if I showed it to you?
I might.
Who is this woman they said she is?
Does that look familiar?
Not entirely, no.
Okay, let me show you something else. Would it refresh your memory if you saw the text exchange between Mr. Kinney and Mr. Teskey?
Yes.
Can you see that? Do you want me, I'm going to enlarge it. Do you see the date?
I do.
I'm going to go down so you can see the rest of it. Do you see the rest of it?
Yes, I do.
Is that the photograph of the ammunition that was shared with you by Mr. Kinney that came from Mr. Teskey on November 1st?
I remember this conversation between the two of them.
Okay, explain it to us then. And I'm sorry, I'm showing you for the record States Exhibit 1 for the motion hearing. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question?
Well, tell us about the conversation.
Yes.
Tell us about this meeting. What happens?
So this was a conversation with Troy and Seth, and I guess an exchange of where the rounds that Troy may have had that could have been in relation to Rust. Yeah.
So, did you see this photograph on that day?
Yes.
And were you able from the photograph to determine whether or not these rounds were similar to the rounds found on the set of Rust?
These would not have been similar to what we had found on Rust.
Okay. And from this vantage point, how can you see that?
So some of them, well, a lot of them have an actual head stamp of companies or manufacturers such as Winchester, VHA. I think the other one says CBC. It's a little hard to see with the shadowing in the picture. The only one out of these that would have been somewhat similar to what we had found on Rust is the third one from the left, which shows the Starline brass logo and it says 45 Colt. However, a distinguishable difference in this round and what we had found on Rust would have been the color of the primer. They're different colors.
Okay. If you recall, did you yourself ever have a conversation with Mr. Teskey?
Not where it was just me and him, but I have had a conversation with him in the conversation.
So let me ask you this. After you were provided this information, the photograph and the information about the rounds, where was your understanding of where those rounds were located?
In Arizona.
And did you have any communications with Mr. Teskey about obtaining those rounds?
Yeah, I had asked Mr. Teskey at least a couple times for him to figure out how to send those rounds to the sheriff's office. I asked him on a couple different occasions to either ship them or figure out a way that we could still get them in the sheriff's office possession.
And you wanted to do that even though they didn't appear to match the rounds from Rust?
Yes.
Why?
Because the investigation in itself was still very fresh at that time. It was still ongoing. I wanted to make sure that we had all the information that was brought forward to us in order to continue this investigation.
Did you see Mr. Teskey at Ms. Gutierrez's trial?
I did.
And were you aware that Mr. Teskey was a friend of Ms. Gutierrez's father?
Yes.
Did you receive any communications during the Gutierrez trial relating to Mr. Teskey?
I did.
Tell us about those.
So during her Hannah's trial, or near the end of it, I had gotten some correspondence that a male by the name of Troy Teskey had came in and had ammunition, and that he wanted to turn it over.
Came in where?
To the courts.
So he came here?
Yes.
To this building?
Yes.
And who did he speak to, if you know?
He spoke to I believe the deputies downstairs that were working the courts.
And what were you doing at that point in time?
I was here in trial.
So you receive information that there's a person down there that has what?
Ammunition.
And how did you respond? What did you do?
I had asked the deputy, I said, can you just have him wait until, have him wait here until I have a moment that I can speak with him.
Did he wait for you?
No.
Where do we go from here? What happens next?
From there, I believe
Thank
we had
you for
a
the
break.
$4.99 super
I had
sticker,
asked
that wild card.
where
Thank you
Troy
so much. I
was. They said
appreciate
he was no
you.
longer here.
Thank you so
and then
much. I really
further on
appreciate
into
your
the
help
day,
and support.
I don't know if it was a call or a text message, but I had gotten word that Troy had
Thank
shown
you
up to
very
the sheriff's
much.
office and was trying to turn over that ammunition. At that point, we're still in trial, so I have a little bit of limited time and where I need to figure out logistics
I really
with this.
appreciate that. That helps the channel.
I believe I had gotten a call from the lieutenant or someone there, and I said, okay, well, I'm still here, but I will make contact with him at a later point and get a statement from him so we can figure out what to do with this.
And at that point in time, were you aware that he had left some ammunition at the sheriff's department?
Yes.
And did you take steps to contact Mr. Teskey to take his statement?
I did. I called him twice when I had found out that he had shown up to the sheriff's office. I didn't receive, or he didn't pick up the phone, and I never received a call back.
And let me ask you, why is it important for you to take his statement?
Because I need to figure out what to do with this ammunition and how it would potentially be tied to the case and in what way, so I can figure out what to do with it after that.
At the time that you were reaching out to him that day, do you have any idea whether or not this is related to the case?
Just by him saying it might be, but not in what context it would have been.
But you didn't speak to him?
No.
Okay. And is that the reason you were trying to reach him?
Yes, and to try to set up something where I could have a discussion or an interview with him.
Thank you very much.
And you want to have the interview because you want to see if it's tied to the case?
Yes.
So you call him twice, and does he respond?
No.
Do you continue to try to reach him?
I did try to reach him again. I believe it was the following week. I tried to reach out a couple times and never received a response back.
So if you don't have a witness who will give you an interview regarding the items that they've dropped off at the sheriff's department, how do you know that they're in any way related to the case?
I really wouldn't, because I didn't have a discussion with him.
Has Mr. Teskey ever returned your calls?
No.
Did you... Are you aware that the exchange between Mr. Teskey and the people at the sheriff's department that took place when you were in trial with me, are you aware that at least part of that was recorded on a body-worn camera?
I know now.
When did you learn that?
Today.
And have you had an opportunity to review it?
Yes.
Never be given this, Your Honor.
I just got it. So
Okay, I just want the court to know. This is
I can give it to them.
This is the newest of the revolutions.
So there's when Teskey comes into the station, it's being recorded on a body-worn camera?
I believe that the defense did have it because they knew what Mr. Teskey was saying to Popple. That's the basis of the cross-examination.
Well, it's not, it hasn't been admitted as an exhibit.
Sure, and I can call Popple and have it admitted as an exhibitor. I can call Brendel, but it's a motion hearing. How do you want me to handle it? She's now seen it. I can give it to the defense.
No, I'm going to have the person that whose body it was on. Let me ask you, in the meantime, while I'm listening to this testimony, can I have the exhibits from Popple that she testified about the bullets and what they were, when they went to the FBI? Her inventory of bullets. May I have those exhibits? I know there's a lot of them.
Sure. I think there are probably some also from the defense. So does the defense want to go through their file? Do you want me
I
to
just
do it?
want the ones that Popple testified off of, not any cross.
Are you looking for the one that I just highlighted specifically?
No, I'm looking for the ones that Popple testified she inventoried and had tested.
Are you asking for scene photos or no? Just the ones that she had at the sheriff's
Yes,
department?
where she went through and some were in Ziplocs.
Okay, so not scene photos, just the ones from the sheriff's department?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Do you have those?
There should be.
And just for the record, Judge, we don't have the body-worn camera.
I'm hearing you. I want to look at the bullets.
The physical.
I'll take the physical.
You don't need photos of boxes?
No,
just
no,
bullets, okay?
I want what she testified of, the ones that were gathered at the scene, and then she went through how she tested them. There they are. Okay. All right, I think these are fine, Ms. Morrison. Okay, thank you.
Oh, so you want the actual bullets?
Well, these are fine.
Okay, I thought
Well,
you
I
wanted
was gonna,
photographs.
I was gonna take the photos, but these are good too.
Okay.
Are
Do you
these,
want the photos
may I
instead?
ask, are these all the, these aren't all that were gathered at the scene, were they?
They are.
These are the sum total?
Correct. There were only 5 live rounds in addition to the spent casing.
Okay, which ones were, okay, were only the live rounds tested by the FBI? No, there were more that were tested by the FBI.
There were dummy rounds that were sent to the FBI that were confirmed to be dummy rounds.
Okay, that's what I want to look at.
The
Do you have
dummy-
pictures? Do you have pictures of that?
I don't think we've had her testify to that. I don't know.
Can I have all the exhibits that were entered while she testified? That's the best way to put it.
Sure. Right.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's fine. Do you want them from the state and the defense?
Yes.
Okay, because I'm,
Do you want to announce what they are? Hayden, can you tell us what the exhibits are during Popple's testimony? Or I actually can, because I took notes. There they are. Let me do it.
hang on, we need to catch up with you if you're going to give us numbers. Hang on.
All right. Do you want me to tell you what they are?
Brian next to me has them. I'm just trying to get there. So I don't want you to list them off to me yet.
Well, it's just 15 through 21.
And I'm looking to start here at 15. I'm not finding 15.
Hey,
So
Night
just a
Owl,
minute.
thanks for coming back. I appreciate you coming.
I've got 18 set aside. I've got 17 set aside. 15, 16. What was the other one? That's 15, 16, 17, and 18.
Okay. And then
That's fantastic, crazy chicken
20,
lady.
21, 23.
Okay, slow down.
Oh, that sounds good. I'm starving. I've only had one bite of pasta salad. Waiting for my husband to bring me some lunch.
What was give me the first number again? We've got a ton
20,
of exhibits
20,
here.
21.
20 and 21?
Uh-huh,
Okay.
23, 25.
This is 20. You want
Oh,
that?
no, I just want the guns.
21 is the
You can
shot
go
of the
whenever you
pew.
Yeah, I don't want the pew. I want
Okay,
the...
what else?
Just,
So here's 10. Do you want that? That's a scene photo. But she testified to it.
a scene photo. What do you mean?
It's from the set of Rust. It was taken
Okay,
on the
yeah,
set.
yeah.
Okay. Do you want these? This does, okay. This one has ammunition on it.
Which is that from, oh, no, I don't want,
This
I
is
only want
9.
the ones on the set, not in PDQ.
Okay. So what I'm handing you is all photos of states exhibits that were of ammunition. Do you want the spent casing?
No.
Okay. Do you want me to go through the defendant's exhibits?
I want the defendant to go through the defendant's exhibits.
Glad you asked.
Do you want this?
Yeah, sure. Where's
I
that?
hear ya. Me too, Night Owl. I'm
I have
waiting
them.
for my
Here.
There you go, Judge.
All right, thank you so much.
waiting for
These
my
are,
husband to
these
bring
are
me
it?
lunch.
After all I asked for? Seems kind of thin from what I...
You know what?
I don't know who Outlaw is. Hey Harvey, good to see you. I haven't seen you in a while.
Let me
Hope you're
go
doing
through these
good.
real quick.
All right.
Stop for just a second. Let me see what's
Have
in
you
front
been
of me.
These are
following
enough.
this
These are
case
enough.
too?
These are enough, okay? I'm good. I'm good. All right, let me just use these, okay? Let me just see if I might ask for more
It's good to
later.
see
Okay,
ya.
go ahead. I'm sorry to interrupt your question.
No, that's fine.
Oh, I understand. I understand that. I have been too. I hear you.
Due to Mr. Teskey's refusal to speak to you, were you ever able to tie the items that he dropped off at the sheriff's department to the set of Rust?
No.
Given that this is a motion hearing, and if the court wants me to do this a different way, please tell me. Over the lunch break, were we able to obtain the video and watch it?
Yes.
Did you hear what Mr. Teskey said in the video regarding whether or not these came from the set of Rust?
He said that they were not from the set.
That's what he said on the video?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm happy to get...
He can't cross-examine off of this.
Sure, and I can get it to him.
Well, you are going to give it to him. And,
Yeah, they
and
see each other.
This testimony, he can call her back up if he wants.
Absolutely.
Hey,
Sure.
good to see you.
I'll pass the witness.
All right, I have some questions. Can you put back on that video of the text that Seth Penny got
I
from
don't know who
Teskey?
Outlaw Tiger is. Listening while I do some work. Thank you so much for being back, Harvey.
If you guys have a flash drive, I'll give you that video right
As soon as my phone charges, I'll remod you, Harvey. I thought you'd left me.
And can you blow that up?
You want the top or the bottom?
The top.
Okay.
Glad you're back.
All right, I'm going to ask some questions.
Sure.
All right, so you testified that that only one seemed similar. Let's see, one similar to the Starline Brass Color Primer in Arizona, and that it's the third one. It says 45 Colt?
It didn't seem similar in the primer. It was different in the primer color. So
In what, why is it different in the primer color?
because the primer on this, the third one it's a brass color. The primers that came from Rust were silver.
Oh, okay.
But these are, you counsel, you need to come up. Counsel, you need to come up. I'm questioning, you're gonna need to see this, both of you.
I can see what you're showing her. I saw what you're showing her.
I only see one silver here.
Right, but this is in reference to the live ammunition.
Look, you just testified. Let me just ask this. None of these look similar to the set on Rust.
To the live ammunition.
To the live ammunition on
Yes,
Rust.
ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
But it still looks similar to what was on Rust.
Yes, as far as,
Tiger.
yes.
Outlaw Tiger.
It looks similar to these on Rust.
For the dummies, yes.
Yes, it looks similar to dummies on Rust.
Dummies, but not live.
Okay, I understand your distinction on
Okay.
live. But they still look similar. That one, the third one from the left, still looks similar to dummies on Rust.
Yes.
All right, thank you. Yes.
I may not even need the video right now, so we can start without that.
All right.
Good afternoon, Corporal.
Afternoon.
When you started investigating this case, you were investigating this concept of sabotage, that there could have been an intentional live bullet placed onto the set. Do you remember that?
Not originally, but later on, yes.
Okay, and obviously if somebody...
I missed the question. Let me just ask it. So they're not similar to the live rounds. That was not similar to the live rounds, but they were similar to the dummies on Rust.
That's correct.
Okay, and the dummies on Rust were tested with the live ammo by the FBI.
Yes, some of the dummies were sent.
Some of the dummies that look like that one on the phone.
I couldn't say which exact ones were sent to the FBI.
Okay, but you just testified that that looks similar to the dummies on Rust.
He's saying that he was accused of something by you, Night Owl. I dropped a link if he wants to come up. I dropped the link.
Yes.
You didn't differentiate, and that some of the dummies on Rust were sent to the FBI.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
So,
Hey, Days, good to see you.
at a certain
can't
point
wait
early
for
on
my
in this
doll.
case, you
I'm so excited.
entertained the possibility that this
like
was an actual
Christmas is
sabotage,
coming.
that somebody could have intentionally placed the lethal bullet onto set, correct?
Yes.
And you quickly dispensed of that concept,
I don't
right?
usually get.
I don't think it was
birthday
quickly
gifts, so
dispensed.
this
It was
is exciting for
investigated.
me.
Okay. And fair to say that if that had happened, that would have been a far different case, right?
It could have been. I don't.
And so then you turn to the idea of, well, somebody outside of Rust could have placed or been the
He's saying he was accused of porn bombing Night Owl.
cause of the ammunition ending up on set. And you interviewed Seth Kenney, I think you told this court yesterday, 10 times at least, right?
Yeah, I can't put an exact number, but it was a few times, yes.
Right, and that would have been a different case also, right?
If he had provided them? In relation to this case or in relation to the past case?
In relation to
I don't think anybody's watching that, so I might as well turn it the hell off. Let's see, I see Betty is live. Let's see what she's talking about. Oh boy. It's Nicolina and Ernie on Betty's. Nicolina and Ernie are fighting on Betty's. There's people on panel that I can't tell who it is. Do y'all want to go watch that? Or do y'all want to hang out here and I'll show you something kind of interesting? I think it's interesting. I just remember this guy when his mugshot was shown and where his life has gone. I want to show you that. And then I have a friend of mine, Patrick Reynolds. His family is RJ Reynolds Tobacco Company. Patrick is dear friends with Shelley Duvall. And I was going to show you some photos that he shared with me today. So she passed, and if you're a Shelley Duvall fan, I just wanted to share it with you. Again, Patrick Reynolds is a Facebook friend of mine, and he's against the smoking industry and has done a lot to build our company, our town back from. I would never leave you. Thank you. I appreciate you. You're cooking and listening. So here's some pictures of Patrick and Shelley Duvall. Yes, she did. They dated at one time and lived with Robin Williams. They all lived together. So this is Shelley and me on the set of Nashville, 1974 Smoking, and both in love. So that was, here's some more. At Vince Gym in Hollywood, North Hollywood. Before that, I trained the original Gold's Gym in Venus, where Arnold Schwarzenegger worked out every day. So I guess that's Arnold. Here is Shelley, Patrick, and Ronnie Blakely. The lady with the cigarette. That's Shelley Duvall. Let's see. Oh no, the Shelley is over here, and this one says Ronnie Blakely. This is Patrick and Shelley at a premiere. So I thought I would share these pictures with y'all of him. She was such a neat person, I thought, very interesting. Everyone's feelings matter. Absolutely, Crazy Chicken Lady, I love you. Yes, everyone matters. Everyone. No one is more important than the other because of status or clout. Yep. We're all equal. So I wanted to share that with you, and then I also wanted to share this story here about who remembers the felon that had the mugshot, and he became a model. He became a Calvin Klein model. I'm going to show you this. See if y'all remember this guy from a few years back. I just saw this in my newsfeed and I was like, oh man, I remember that guy.
Do you remember Jeremy Meeks? Everyone known as the hot felon.
You know, and that's what I love about it, because I can't.
This is him now.
Do y'all remember when this happened? Yeah.
And not smart.
Jeremy Ray Meeks is an American fashion model and actor. He used to be in the Crip Street gang, but in 2014, he was arrested during a gang sweep called Operation Ceasefire in Stockton, California. The police posted his mugshot on Facebook, and it went viral because of his good look. He was released in 2016 after serving 13 months. Overall, Meeks has spent a total of 10.5 years in the federal prison system throughout his life. Soon after getting out, he jumped right into new opportunities and signed a big deal with a top modeling agency. Where is he now? What is he doing? Jeremy Meeks is constantly working on his modeling and acting career, diving into thrilling projects and partnerships. His commitment to his work has earned him a strong position in the fashion and entertainment world. Jeremy plans to inspire the next generation with his music, sharing his personal journey and overcoming challenges to connect with young people in need. And that's what happened to Jeremy Meeks. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to subscribe to our channel.
I thought that was pretty cool. Let's watch this right here with Wendy. Get this out real quick. 2, 1, and go.
I'm Jeremy Meeks.
Okay,
Hi. It's nice to meet you. You're still a very good-looking man, I must say. Shoe cam, please.
Oh, I'm actually wearing a strong Top Man boot.
What's that, from Top Shop?
Yeah, Top Man. You know, we gotta support the family.
Yeah, So you've come a long way since the mugshot. Are you enjoying your success?
Wow, am I? It doesn't even seem real. I wake up every single morning And it's hard to believe, I never thought I'd do any of this. So
Now, you've done a tour of quite a few of the most dangerous prisons in the country. No, you've been locked up several times. Let's be real. And but how many times? Okay, a lot.
Honestly, I don't know. I did almost 11 years altogether.
Altogether.
Yeah, like 10 years, 8 months, I believe.
What were you doing? Petty crimes?
No, a string of different things. Again, I made horrible decisions in my youth.
Okay.
Just lack of opportunity and very hard-headed and,
So while you were in prison, because good morning, inmates. While you were in prison, I know we're big in the prisons. Look, so the show comes on and you're sitting there watching. Correct me if I'm wrong. And
yes,
then all of
very much so.
a sudden you're on Hot Topics.
Just like that. The next day, I was looking out of my door. There's probably a window this skinny, and I see myself on the Winnie Williams show.
Oh, wow. How crazy
and then
is that?
everyone was banging on the door. You're on TV, you're on TV. And then it just rapid fire from there. I was on every news station, everything.
Say, can I ask you, is that a teardrop? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we all know what that
Well,
means.
It is, when I was growing up, they used to call me a crybaby a lot. So.
Any excuse is better than none. So what you might not know, because I didn't realize this, is that Jeremy was released because the judge was a fan of his. The judge was a fan of his from being in prison. Plus, I guess the judge was watching probably Hot Topics. And the judge is a man who wanted him to get out early to take advantage of all that the world could possibly have to offer you.
Yes, full blown. He was Troy Nunley. Judge Nunley was by far one of my biggest fans, and I could not have gotten as far as I am today without him, because I was supposed to receive a much higher sentence. But he told the DA, I have an opportunity that no one's ever had before.
So you got a lot.
He wanted me to take full advantage of it.
Yeah.
He also allowed me to travel the country without going to court. And he let me off a year early off of my federal parole.
Yeah. That's crazy.
That's like divine intervention, big time, ain't it?
So when you got out, you have one child with your now ex-wife, I guess, and she has 2 children. And on Hot Topics, we were like, you no good dog.
Wow.
You get out.
No, time out.
She stuck by you during.
Hey, now that we're friends, Wendy, because now you can call me. Now you can call me. You can get the real deal info. We were split up. We were separated, getting a divorce when I fell in love with Chloe. And it came out really bad, and I felt horrible because of the way it did come out.
On Hot Topics.
There were so many news stations and paparazzis in front of the house. And
Oh my gosh.
it was hard for them, so I felt horrible. She didn't deserve that, even though we were separated.
Chloe Green, everybody, is who he's speaking of. Now, her father is Mr. Top Shop. They're a very, very wealthy family. How long had you been seeing Chloe before she introduced you to the rest of her family?
It was a couple months. It was a couple months when I flew to Monaco and was fully embraced, open arms.
We showed the pictures.
Family.
Yeah, we showed the pictures.
Yeah.
The paparazzi was buzzing overhead. You're embracing her mother. You're hanging out with the father. You're like, you look fabulous.
They are such incredible people. To be honest, I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah.
It's human nature to judge people, and
yeah, with the teardrop.
I didn't feel any judgment at all. Like, I was embraced wholeheartedly, and they've helped me in so many ways. They've helped my son. She's an incredible mother. They're incredible grandparents.
I understand that before quarantine, you were having regular lunches with her father, and he would explain to you your career and who you should sign with. It wasn't just about Top Shop. It was about, go with this company, go with that company, and, don't do this.
Yeah,
Let me pause this real
for
quick
sure. He
for you.
was.
Wow.
He was.
Can y'all see that? There's Harvey on the Gladiator show. Yes, that's him. That's him. That's our Harvey. Okay, back to our program.
So great when it came to just advice and direction and guidance, and he put me with a lot of good people and introduced me to Tommy Hilfiger, and I walked in his show, and I'm forever grateful to the Green family.
Wow. So now, how is your son doing with Chloe? He's got to be maybe 1.5, 2?
No, he's doing some change. He is beyond beautiful. The world hasn't seen him. It'll be a while, but he is unreal.
Do you talk to your kids on the Googler every day?
Oh, definitely. Chloe's so incredible because I cannot travel to Europe right now. I used to go once or twice a month, but now due to the pandemic, I haven't seen him in about 10 months.
Now, how does
But she is so incredible about FaceTime and flooding me with pictures, and because there's a 9-hour difference between LA and Monaco.
How does she get along with your ex-wife?
Good now. It was rough at first,
Of course.
obviously. But when my oldest son came to live with us in Monaco, her and Melissa used to communicate. And
That's
it
awesome,
was
isn't it?
like they make it work. They're both adults about everything. We're all in a good place.
You seem
Okay, well, that's what happened to him. I don't want to have to split my revenue with Wendy Williams. Pretty cool, huh? Will you look young? Maybe find a lady a little older who will spoil you. Are you offering? Are you offering? That's funny. Is Dad back yet? Okay. Will you message him? He went to get lunch and I'll be done just a minute. Okay, let me tell everybody bye. I do too. Isn't that awesome? You could shower him with deviled eggs. You need a sugar daddy? No, you don't. Maybe a sugar buddy. You sure don't want a daddy telling you what to do and having the remote control all the time to your life. That's the great thing about when you're single. You get to hold the remote control, not just to the TV. Think about it. And on that note, I'm going to close and go have my lunch finally. All right, so I guess that'll do it for me today. Thanks for coming and hanging out with me. I really appreciate y'all. Isn't that the truth? I love y'all. We'll see y'all later. Bye now.
Your daily grind, my weary kind, and to those hills we'll ride. I've learned to live fast and find my weary kind, and to those hills we'll ride. Riding back home down to Mama's keep, same old
How y'all doing tonight? Hope everybody's doing real good.
Bye-bye. Thanks now. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bada bing, bada boom. Get over here. Get out of here.
Go, Monty, go, 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 go!
He's got green grass in front of him. He's at the 5. Touchdown.
Woo!
Cry with me, Forrest. Cry with me. Dear God, make me a bird so I can fly far, far, far away from here. Dear God, make me a bird so I can fly far, far, far away from here.
Mama always said that God is mysterious. He didn't turn Jenny into a bird that day. Instead, he had the police say Jenny didn't have to stay in that house no more. She went to live with her grandma just over on Creekmore Avenue, which made me happy because she was so close.
Yeah, I showed it during the video. Here's Harvey and his the gladiator picture he wanted me to share again. Yeah, I showed it. You're welcome. Okay, I've really got to go. Thanks, y'all. I appreciate you.